Hello everybody, welcome to Randy's Tropical Plants. I'm up here on a ladder today next to my ice cream banana, Musa ice cream, and I wanted to show you this leaf that just emerged. This little tiny leaf is called a flag leaf. When your banana does this, you know it's about to bloom. You can also tell, you can see right here, this is all swollen. There's a flower bud inside of here right now. It's about to pop out in the next couple of days. I'm about to prune all the pups off, well, most of the pups off of this today, and I'm going to show you how I do that. So this is the same plant 2 days later. Here's the flag leaf, and here is the flower bud emerging. In another day or two, this is going to invert itself, and it's going to swell up and get a whole lot bigger. So it'd be growing upside down here. Okay, and here we are another 2 days later, and you can see that the bud has fully emerged and has inverted and will begin growing its rack of bananas. So that's enough showing off my banana's flower right now. I want to show you what happens when a stand of bananas becomes very happy, and they've got lots of fertilizer and lots of water and everything they love. They send up lots of these little pups. This is called a sword sucker. It's called that because the leaves are long and narrow. These are the real good ones. These are the vigorous ones. I don't have any water suckers on here right now, but they would normally form a little further away from the larger pseudostems, and they have fully formed large leaves on a small plant. They're less vigorous. You can cut them off and grow them. They'll eventually grow nice sword suckers like this and become a big plant, but they're the least vigorous. These sword suckers here, these are the ones that are very vigorous. I'm actually going to be cutting this one off today, but as you can see, there's quite a few. So we got that 1, 2, 3, 4 from these pseudostems, and I've got another big pseudostem back here with another 1, 2, and then I think I saw a third one someplace. Ah, yes, 3 right here. I'm going to be cutting all those off with the exception of this one here and the big one up there in front. Now, since I sell these in my nursery, I use a little hand trowel, and I carefully dig around the base of them, and I keep going until I find roots, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Okay, you can see here that I've dug, this is the same sword sucker. I've dug away the soil around the base of it. Here are roots connected to the base of it. This is where it's attached to the mother corm. So we need to cut it off straight down through here. You want to be careful not to cut it off at an angle, because then you'll cut off the meristem tissue, which is way down inside of here. So I'm going to go get my regular sized gardening spade to do this. So you want to wedge the shovel in between the sucker, this pup, and the original mother corm. And like I said, you want to cut it downward, straight downward, not at an angle, because we're going to try to make this into a new plant. So now you can see this is where it was attached to the corm. This is what I cut off, and you can see it has quite a healthy root system here, even though it's still just a very small little pup. This will grow just fine. If I planted this now in the ground, by the end of this summer, and we are now in the end of June, by the end of this summer, this thing would be almost full size. It would be at least 6 feet tall. They're very, very fast growers. Anyway, I have lots and lots of these pups for sale in my nursery, And I'm going to go and pot this up and then continue on with the rest of these. Okay, as you can see, I got 6 pups off of that stand of bananas, and all of them I did a pretty good job with getting lots of roots on it, except for this one, which was on the very back side between the fence and the plant. There is some corm at the very base of it, but no roots. This is iffy. Without this little bit of corm here at the base, it's just almost like a half an inch of corm there. Without that, there would be no way that this plant would grow roots and survive. But with it, it's possible. So I'm not going to give up on this one. I'm going to throw it in some soil and see if it roots. The rest of these other 5 are 100% guaranteed to be big, healthy trees. So now I have removed all of the pups except for the ones that I've judiciously selected to stay so that they can produce bananas for me later. Now is time to continue our maintenance of this plant. Bananas need a lot of fertilizer. They're really hungry, greedy plants. That's actually why I removed the pups, is because if I didn't remove the pups, there would be too many pseudostems to feed from this plot of earth, and they would be weak. You'd have fewer blooms, fewer bananas, smaller bananas. If you want to grow them for fruit, you really do have to prune off the pups the way I just did. So this big pseudostem here is going to produce a flower probably towards the end of August is where I'm anticipating to see a flower on this one. This one I'm going to continue to allow to grow, and by the end of this summer it'll be quite large. This one will be my banana producing pseudostem next year, probably towards the end of that summer. And then from this one I will allow 1 pup to grow, and then all the rest of them I will prune off the way I just pruned off all the rest of these. So on top of limiting the number of pups, you also want to provide them with a lot of nutrition. So the rule of thumb is you want to provide 1 pound of granular time-release fertilizer per pseudostem. So I'm not going to count that little tiny one right now. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's 5 pounds of granular fertilizer per month during the growing season. So just to show you what that looks like, this is 5 pounds of granular 6-12 time-release fertilizer. And I'm going to be sprinkling this all around the base of this stand of bananas. And I do this once a month. If you are an organic farmer and you don't want to use synthetic pesticides, you're going to have mostly a hard time providing enough potassium. That's what they really need. That's why it's 6-12, with the 12 being the highest number in the ratio. I suggest, if you're organic, to use potash from burned wood. Use wood, never coal, ash. I've not done that. I just provide it with the synthetic fertilizer. But again, if you like to go organic, potassium is the one thing you really want to make sure that they get a lot of. That is what will make them thrive and bloom and grow real well. Another thing you might want to notice is I have a tremendous amount of mulch here. This is just oak leaf that I raked off of my roof, actually, and I just raked it directly down onto this. And it's probably about 1.5 feet tall now. I'm going to throw a bunch of composted oak leaves along with other stuff in the compost and probably pile it up in about another 1.5 feet higher than that on top of this fertilizer. And that'll leave that for the year, and I'll continue to fertilize on top of that for the rest of this growing season. And that is how you maintain bananas. Thanks for watching.